Alright guys, so welcome to the quiz corrections video. We're going to go ahead and do similar problems to the ones that you've done, and then we'll have you guys try other types of problems, but the same type of problem, but different numbers. So let's look at the first one. So we want to find the equation of the inverse, which means that we got to solve for y whenever we swap x and y. So you're going to swap x and y, and then you're going to solve for the new y here. So you're going to add 5 to both sides. All right, so next you want to bring this down. Now, in order to get rid of the 3/4, you need to multiply by the reciprocal on both sides. So you need to multiply by the reciprocal of 4/3. All right, so now the 3's cancel and the 4's cancel. So now you got y equals 4/3, x plus 5. And then you can rewrite this as f inverse 4/3 x plus 5. All right, so that is your final answer. So for number 2, I'm going to do the same thing. So swap x with y. Now you're going to add 3 to both sides. The only way to get rid of the 1/2 is to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 2/1, or 2. So now we have y squared equals 2 times x plus 3. To get rid of the square root, we need to do this. Get rid of the square, we need to do the square root. And normally we need the plus or minus version, but this wants us to do the positive version only, so no negatives. So I'm going to replace the y with f inverse and call that my answer. If you want, you can multiply the 2 and the x, so 2x, and then 2 times 3 is 6. So you can also do that as well. All right, so we're going to do the same thing here. So swap x with y. If this is a square root, then you're going to square both sides. But since it's a cube root, we will cube both sides. We're going to add 1 to both sides. I forgot to switch this to a y, so let me change that now. All right, so now we need to multiply by 2. So we have y. So I'm going to change that y to an f inverse. Equals 2 times x cubed plus 1. If you want, you can distribute that, or you can leave it like that. It doesn't matter, as long as you know how to solve it. As long as you know how to find the inverse, you should be fine. All right, so now we're going to verify that they're inverses. So to verify that these are inverses, you need to use composition. So you need to do f of g of x, and you need to do g of f of x. And they have to give you x. So let's do the f of g of x first. So for that guy, we have f of, now we're going to plug in g. G is that guy. So we're going to plug in x cubed over 8 plus 5. And we're going to plug it into f, which is this. This is f. So we're going to plug it into f there. So we have 2 times the cube root of x minus 5. So x gets replaced with that. So that's x, and then you got your minus 5. All right, so notice that the 5's cancel there. All right, so now you need to do the cube root. The cube root of x cubed is x, so the cube root and the cube cancel. The cube root of 8 is 2, so the 2's basically cancel out here. So it leaves you with x. All right, so that checks out. All right, that takes care of the f of g of x part. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the g of f of x part. So we're going to do the g, and f of x is that. So we're going to plug in f of x into g. So we have x cubed, so that gets replaced with that, and it's cubed. So that's x cubed, and then over 8 plus 5. So distribute the power, okay? So the cube and the 3 cancel, and then you have 2 to the third, which is 8. So you have 2 to the third is 8, and then the cube root cancels for this guy. All right, so you know this is 2 to the third, which is 8, and then the cube root with this cancels, so it leaves you with that. And then the 8's cancel, and don't forget the plus 5 out here. So the 8's cancel, and then the 5's cancel because it's a negative 5 plus 5, and so it's x. So that means they're both f and g are inverses. All right, so now we're going to look at number 5. So again, we're going to do the f of g of x. So we're going to do that first. So we have f of 7 minus 2x over 3. That's f of g of x. Plug that in for f. So we got negative 3. X, so x gets replaced with that. So notice that the 3's cancel. So now you have a negative here, so distribute that negative. So negative 7 and then plus 2x. All right, so now the negative 7's cancel, the 2's cancel, and it leaves you with x. So that checks out. All right, so that works. Now I'm going to do the g of f of x. So I'm gonna do it over here. So g of f. So plug that in for g. Let me erase it. Let me erase this. I need more room. All right, so g is that. So 7 minus 2x. So x gets replaced with this now. This gets plugged in for x here. Notice that the 2's cancel. Remember to distribute that negative. So you got 7, 2 negatives, it makes a positive 3x. A negative and a positive makes negative 7. And then we have over 3. So the 7's cancel. 7 minus 7 is 0. 3's cancel, leaves you with x. So that means these are both inverses. Right? And that's how you do it. So go ahead and learn from this and use it to do your corrections.